All right, everyone, welcome along. So I thought we'd do a little quick video, just have a look and see the best way to put together a calendar, and we'll get you started with your own calendar. And from here, you'll be able to take it further, expand on it, and make it your own. So we're going to go through, it's going to be quick, but hopefully there'll be enough for you to follow along. And I'll put the text of the calendar that we start with, or that we're built, well, put what we start with, and I'll put what we work through at the end in the description below. Champion. All right, so here we are, okay, Power Query Editor. Right, doing this in a PBIX file, but what I would typically do is put this into your data flows and have this as a communal data flow that everyone in your organization can access, and build your whole corporate calendar around it so that everybody who's building reports is using the same calendar, and you get that level of consistency, familiarity, both with your analytical teams, but also with your consumers, because they get used to seeing things in particular formats, particular ways of doing it. Well worth doing. So let's follow along, right, and see how we created this one. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is to go in here. I'm going to say, right, let's create a new query. Sorry, here. Let's create a new query. Let's create a blank query. Okay, needs to be blank. Might as well get started. I'm going to type a few things in here just to get we're going. Right. So before we have a source, what we need is we need a few things first. So let's start with our current date. And that's going to equal Date.From, open brackets, DateTime.LocalNow, open brackets, close brackets. Okay, and then a comma. Right, and then we have a start date. It's going to equal hashtag date, open brackets. Tell you what, let's go for 2001 and an end date. It's going to equal date, open brackets, 2030 12/31, comma. Okay. So we can see roughly where we're going, but I guess you're thinking, well, what do all these equal, right? So let's start with our current date. Okay. So current date, local date time date is going to be, so current date, local date time is always going to come back and give you the current date. So we can see today's date. If we then go to the next one down, so let's look at the start date. Okay, surprise, surprise, that'll give us the first of, so an end date will give us the last one. So what we need to do now is think about what our source needs to be. Okay, so to make this work, okay, let's go back to the source. What we need to do is we need to think, right, I need a function that's going to create me a list of dates, isn't it? Yeah. So surprisingly, it's List.Dates. List.Dates, open brackets, and then this time is where we're going to say, so from the start date, so give me a list of dates from my start date, I need a count of days between it. So what do we need to do? So what we need to do is to go Duration.Days. So how many days are there between me end date minus me start date. Okay, and then we need to just plus one because it always starts with a 0 for this. So plus 1 just to give you a complete calendar. Okay, and then lastly, the duration or the step that we want. We want a daily step. Okay, so that's going to be this hashtag duration. Not all of this is easy to remember. It's one of these things you do it once, you never do it again, and it's enough. So there's no hours, no minutes, no seconds, just in day durations. Okay, so we've now should have, if we click done, and I've done it right, we'll have a list of dates, right? So here's our list of dates that we get started with. So 2 minutes, we've built a list of dates. Once you've got your list of dates, it's really easy to go from there. So first, we need to convert this list into a table. So we're going to click to table. We can just click OK on the next one, We're going to rename this to be dates because it's a list of dates, obviously. And we're going to change the type to dates as well. Okay, so we've got dates. Now we've got that done, we need to start splitting it together, don't we? So you've got a nice feature here. So if you go to the add columns under dates, you'll find you can add lots of things that you might want in here, okay? So let's put in a day of week, for example. With your day of week, you'll see here, you've got this formula in here. What you can do is if you've got a different day of week for your first day of week, and it's not Monday, which is what we've got here, you can put in this here. So we can put in day dot, say, Sunday for a day of week starting on a Sunday. Okay, if it's blank, it assumes it's Monday, but you can pick any day of week that you'd want for it. It's fine. Now we've got that, we just need to keep adding additional items to it. So let's put in our months. So go back to select dates, add a column, pick dates, and I want me months. And then what I'm going to do is go back to dates, pick dates, and I want me name of months. Okay, because month one is not that helpful, is it? Most people are, well, what's January, February? But you want to be able to sort your months by that. So we've got this here. So what we can do now is we can take your month name, and what you can do is there's an option here. So you can choose to leave it as dates.month name dates, okay, or you can change. Let's see if we can zoom in here. Tell you what, let's zoom in here, okay, and what we can do is we can say that. So let's go dates to text from dates, and then what we want is MMM, 3-digit, okay. Oh, and then click the end. Okay, so now we've got the 3-digit dates in there, which is more friendly, I think, for what it is that you'll be wanting to do. You can carry on, you can add more, you can do less. The ones I wanted to show you that I think are really important for your time intelligence or for your filtering of time and getting things balanced. So the drifts that we talk about. Yes, we'll do like the day drift, the month drift, and the year drift. Yeah, so let's get onto those, get it done. So let's go with date drift. So for date drift, what we're going to do is we're going to add a custom column. Okay, let's call it date drift. Remember, I call these date drifts, I call these drifts. A lot of people nowadays are starting to call them offsets. Drift is where my mind was always at. So what this is going to be is it's going to be duration.days, and it's going to be the duration.from. The duration from, open brackets, dates minus our current date. Yeah, which if you remember we put as our first step and close brackets. Okay, and then we need to close brackets again. Two of these things, click OK. And IntelliSense in this gets worse and worse. So we've got our day dates. To do the same, we can do the same for our month drift. Okay, so we're going to go through something similar, create a custom column, month drift. And this time it's a little bit more complicated. So if you see me glancing over, it's because I've got it written down there just to make sure I say put the right things in. So this time, we needed year. So before we can do month drift, year drift, also if you're going to do quarter drift, you need this as well. So what we need to do is we need to bring in, there's one column I forgot to bring in, which is the date and the year. So I'm just going to bring in year. Okay. So now, let's just sort this out again. Okay. Again, just dragging and dropping, moving stuff around. What we need to do is let's add our month drift to it. So custom column, This is going to be month drift. So we're going to open brackets because we're going to have to do this first. So we're going to start with year minus date.year date.year, open brackets, current date, close brackets. So we want what's the current year that we're in now. So year minus current year. Okay. Close brackets on that. Then we're going to multiply that by 12, just because we are. Okay. So that's going to get us to a year point where we've got that. So that'll give us our current year. And then what we're going to do is we're then going to say open brackets month. So we're going to use the month number that we put in minus date.month. Oh, in 10 cents, you're killing me. Let's go zoom in a bit so I can make sure I'm typing anything right. And again, this is going to be our current date. Okay, close brackets. Is that everything saying we're missing something? Oh, another close brackets. There we go. There we are, right. Okay. Okay, so now we've got our month drift as well. Why is it saying it's an error there? Let me just zoom out of there. Let me check. Should be saying an error. Check. Weird. Okay, so we've got our month drift, and then the last one we need to do is the year drift. So we'll go through, we're going to go to add columns. Again, a custom column. Year drift. And this is going to be year minus date.year, open brackets, current date, close brackets. Okay. Dead simple, this one. All right. So suddenly we've created something that gives us our frames of reference, gives us everything. You can see you can carry on like this. You can add additional steps. If you've got holidays to put in or you want to bring something else in, we can go through how you do that. But the main thing is understand the core components of your calendar, right? So as I say, what I'm going to do is I've got this query one that I've written here. We're doing a few more in here. So we've got things like the month, year, and like a year code kind of thing in there as well, allowing you to sort your months across multiple years with that. I'll put that through. I've also put some comments in here as well, just to help you gauging what you need to do in terms of where you would update things, where you don't need to update things. We can have a look at that again, but this would form the basis of your calendar, right? As I say, work on one, do what you need, put this in the comment text down below as a pinned comment or in the description. Have a great weekend. Ta-da.